I'm just starting.
Okay, so we're live now.
Okay, so we'll call the meeting to order. And we're gonna skip to the chair's report on the agenda. New member update, we have,
I know it's not gonna vote on the minutes, but, I read the minutes and, there were some follow-ups. Do we have any follow-ups to the questions that we raised in the minutes? From our meeting? From, the manager, Nikki.
About BAC training and orientation?
Not the ACJ, the funding.
Oh,
Yes.
yes, we'll have, yeah, we have updates on that, but we haven't got to that.
I think there was another request that we made to, Ken for the job descriptions and the flow charts.
So I don't have a flow chart, but I have a ACAC roles and responsibilities list that I was gonna bring up for us to
Okay.
talk about tonight.
Okay.
So yeah, we have some of those. Well, I don't, that are in process.
I want to get to that with BAC training
Okay.
because roles and responsibility is like the
Yeah.
first video.
Yeah,
So
okay.
when we get to the staff report.
We
go
do
for
have
that.
updates on those, some of that. They're blended into the agenda that we've set up for tonight's meeting. Okay.
Thank you, sorry to cut you off.
oh no, that's totally fine. So the new member update, we have, several folks who've applied. We are interviewing 4 on Thursday, and I think it's Ezra's on that. Who else is on that? Are you part of that? There's several of us that'll be at those interviews. Madeline's on that, Montu's on that. So we'll do interviews and have an update. Hopefully welcoming new members in June would be the goal.
And do we all have to vote on that?
I don't know, Dan. That's a great question.
So I think you bring recommendations and then the entire group would vote on it.
Okay,
So that wouldn't be able to be voted on until June. And then they have to go to the mayor and commission
Right.
and be approved.
okay. So we make recommendations and the mayor and commission approve. Is the process. Got it. And we have 4 voting.
So we can, for June, we could have the folks that we would want to make a recommendation on. We can invite them to come as guests, so they can like start to learn what's going on. But then they wouldn't be members obviously until, the mayor.
So I was trying to, y'all know, I'm like, I'm on my man, I'm ready, but
Okay. You can vote now.
We can vote now. Let's go back to the minutes.
We vote to approve Monty as pushing it. Congratulations.
appreciate
You
it.
guys to like take a nap or?
Are you just gonna go right back to school again, though?
Big nap, say what?
Are you gonna go back to get PhD?
You did
Yeah,
PhD?
you're just going right
Oh,
back in.
that's great.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
you to do that?
Your
My heart in my pockets,
Yeah, I feel that.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
incredible.
cause it's funny, cause it was like, it came, when you first came, it was like, hey, Monty, I heard you. And then right after that, it cut off.
Weird.
And then what's funny is when I was like walking up here, it came back on.
Weird.
So it was like, I don't know, it was like going in and out. I was trying to let y'all know, like I'm driving from Seaton.
We said about you.
I didn't hear nothing. I didn't hear nothing. Yeah.
Start from the beginning.
We start from the beginning. We start from going from the top then. Everybody has a copy of the minutes from March. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from March?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right. That passes.
Oh, gotta vote. Gotta vote.
Oh, sorry. This is where I'm really terrible at this. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Ta-da. Motion carries. We just talked about the new member update. We do have officer vacant, yes. go
We
ahead.
technically have to approve the April minutes.
Oh,
We didn't have
I
a
guess, yeah.
Oh, gotcha. That gives me an opportunity to try this again. Do we have a motion to approve the April minutes?
So moved.
A second? Oh, yeah, second. All in favor? Okay,
Oh, with one
Any-
abstention, because she wasn't there.
one abstention. All right. Is that all of our minutes voting that we're aware of? Thank you, Kimberly, for keeping us on track. New member updates, we're doing interviews this Thursday. We do have officer vacancies available, but I think we might put a pin in that until next time. I think our executive committee is a little thin right now. It's just me and Darcy and Kimberly. We really need a secretary, assuming Kimberly would be willing to move into the vice chair role.
Or if someone else wants
Or
to
if-
move into the vice chair
Yeah.
role, I would be glad to stay as secretary, however it gets filled.
Yeah, I think it's just because it is a new day and it's a lot of changes and new members coming on, it's important to me as chair that we have a strong vice chair right now and that we have a strong executive committee to kind of keep us moving forward. If I weren't here, someone would step in as vice chair. Maybe it's something I probably need to read the bylaws about too, and because we're probably out of some sort of compliance with bylaws to not have officers. Is that a
We
thing?
can-
I mean,
It's kind of within
we're
the,
a little light on people right now.
We're a little light on people. But I'd encourage you to think about taking a leadership role and being secretary, if you have not considered that. Maybe one of our new folks would be willing to step up also, but we can stick a pin in that until next time. Treasurer's report, what? Did you just volunteer, Jan?
I think-
Yes.
I would love to.
We'll change the bylaws right now, so you can.
I'm here for morals.
Treasurer's report.
Well, I think that we're waiting to hear about the,
Oh, yes, the budget was approved. So we notified, website people working on the signs, for the bus shelters. And what were the other those were the big things.
Well, and the other thing about that is that it was approved for the budget to go in leisure services budget, so that this should help alleviate.
For next year, for next year.
For next
Yeah.
year, so yes.
next fiscal year.
Yeah,
not
it'll be the
touching.
next, yeah, it's in July. Yeah, no, sorry.
Well, that's 2024, so fiscal year 24, fiscal year 25.
Fiscal year 24
Which starts in July.
Oh, which starts like in a month or two.
Yes.
Oh, sweet.
Yes,
We don't
yeah.
wait a
So
year.
it just, so there wasn't just the Cultural Affairs Commission, it was also like the Greenway Commission and a couple of other things, so that we're just
All under.
developed differently so that the spending could be streamlined more efficiently, so you'll see that.
That's great. That's huge.
any
That's like-
change
that's-
in how that like process goes.
We're gonna have a meeting about that, and
Okay.
so that's what they're gonna tell us, and so we're gonna look at how that, and then we'll
15th.
Yes, yeah, it's next week. And we're gonna hear more about how they have developed that with the manager's office, work with finance to make this something that will be much more efficient than what we've obviously been doing. And so we'll have a better answer for you in June.
So that second captive aid payment, did that get made?
Not yet, but I just contacted them and was like, you can start up again. As
Okay.
you're here, we're back. So what I need to do is give them a new contact person for the Cultural Affairs Commission, because it was Helen and she's no longer with the commission. So who would you like? me to
Helen said
connect?
she wanted to stay
Yeah.
ex officio so she could keep working on
Yeah.
that.
Oh, who's gonna continue to be their contact person? Okay. And I might just put,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know Zay Baptist.
okay.
I know them, so that'd be fine too.
So I don't know where they're at with their project, but I gave them the green light to start again and thank them so much for their professionalism and patience and that.
Awesome, thank you. Anything else on treasurer's report?
I don't think so.
What about,
At the moment, I mean,
what about the murals?
Those,
That-
Centers?
Is that part of this or no? I can't remember.
No,
Okay,
no, that was capital funds.
thank you.
Yes.
See, they painted Lake Park, but they paint, East
Did they
side too?
In Haiti, yep, they're going to.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're doing some inside and outside updates.
That's good.
Well, I guess the other thing with the operating funds, we did set 15,000 for signage for the bus shelters.
Yes, that's,
And that's in the works?
yes.
Okay. And that is, we don't have to actually have them,
We'll have them, but
we don't
they,
have to have them installed.
right.
So that way we'll be close to spending,
Yes, should be pretty close.
yeah, we'll have like $6,871 remaining. I believe. Unless the Captivate goes over.
Yeah, because there was a talk of a secondary project. That was a video, and I don't know the details about what the cost was for that, so I'm not sure
Yeah.
if that is a number in your figures or not, because
I think the video was included in that,
it might have been.
that estimate.
Okay. Well, we had a 8,000 video,
Yeah.
Okay,
but it wasn't, I don't believe it was ever, I don't have it as voted on.
okay. We might check in with them to see if the timeline will work for the website and if there's time for the video, and we can maybe investigate that to see. Because we have to have things in hand by June 31st.
Yeah.
Is the idea.
June 30th.
Thank you,
Oh, yeah, July 31st.
thank you.
Not all done.
Are there 31 days in this month? Yes.
Oh.
Where's the copy of that, like
This,
yeah.
I
and
thought
that-
you had made contacts with, or copies
I
last
think we
time.
made a bunch of copies last time.
Yeah, I just didn't bring any paper material, so would there, that like most recent would be in the drive?
Yeah,
Should, and here's some hard copies of it from,
and there wasn't anything this month, but there was no spending this month, so it's the same as last month.
okay. Are we good? With that?
Yes.
We've got anything else? I think there's another one. Actually.
I just want to take this right.
Okay, staff reports.
Okay, so we just talked about the operating budget update. I'm texting Audrey right now. So we talked about, I talked a little bit last time about the BAC training. So what I need to do is get y'all ACC Gov emails. So you all have those now. I have a whole list. And I will be emailing you individually with your individual logins. And there's also a big, long instruction sheet about how to log in on your phone and how to log in different browsers and all that sort of thing. So I'll email that too. And the other thing I'm waiting on still is the form that I need to fill out to get you enrolled in the actual training videos. So once that happens, and it should be this week, you'll be able to log in to the BAC training videos. There's 5 videos and there's a little quiz after each one. So after you finish each session, you'll be able to download your certificate of completion, and I'm not going to ask for proof of those, but I'll assume that you all did, and you can't proceed unless you get a perfect score on your quizzes, just FYI. You have to you have to take it over again if you don't score well. It's really,
Okay.
it's really serious.
Right.
But there's some really good topics that they go over. Each video is about 20, 30 minutes. The first one is roles and responsibilities. So that outlines things really well in terms of what does a liaison do? What do boards do? Who's responsible for what, that sort of thing. And the second video is about Open Meetings Act. So it explains all the rules about open meetings. The third one is Open Records Act. I think that's the longest one of them. It's probably closer to 40 minutes. The fourth one is all about parliamentary procedure and Robert's rules. So super helpful. Even if you think you know Robert's rules really well, like I still learn a lot. And then the last one is ethics and conflicts of interest. Anyway, they're really great videos. It's Sherry and our old friend Lisa Pappas, who's no longer with the county, but she's in all the videos. And And they're very helpful, so I think,
I wanna see I forgot to get the first two names, the first two videos. What are they called?
oh, right, so roles and responsibilities, Open Meetings Act.
Do we have a timeline of when we're supposed to have this?
So once I have the form for you all that has the enrollment stuff, you'll have 90 days from when that starts, but that hasn't started yet. But yes, there is a time limit because, I guess it's like a trial membership to this, learning interface that we use for all our trainings. So, anyway, I'm told that'll be this week. I hope so. And what I'll do is I'll email each one of you individually with your email address and your password. And of course, you could take that password and change it once you have it. It's just a, auto-generated password that they do for you. And so, hopefully you'll be able to do that before our next meeting. Assuming everything goes when they tell me. So yeah, so that's an
That's
update
awesome.
on that.
Okay. Operating budget report, project reports.
Yeah, we'll go into project reports. So some of you, were with us for the arena selection panels. We did the first round of selections for the arena. I think I mentioned this in our last meeting, even though we didn't have a full meeting, but we had a record number of applicants for the arena. We had, 109 for site 1, 97 for site 2, and 122 for site 3, which is crazy. And so we did a lot of, kind of some initial screening just to, kind of, you had to have, a certain degree of experience. We were looking for 3 examples of previous work, that sort of thing. So if they just didn't give us what we asked for, it was easy to kind of eliminate some of them. Still a huge number of applicants that we reviewed. As Rose there, I think we had like approximately 50 or so for each site. Now those have been narrowed down to the finalists, and then the finalist review will be taking place May 24th. So, and then from there we'll go to Mayor and Commission approval, and at least the large project of the 3 will need a work session presentation that I'll be doing in July for the Mayor and Commission. But I'll probably be presenting all 3 just because it's, they're all part of that project. Let's see. Some of you participated in our Poetry Month events. We had a lot of fun activities. We had our dial-a-phone was very successful. We've kept that up. So if you want to share that with any friends, they can still call that number and listen to the poems. We didn't just take it down.
Did JP send you the, numbers?
No, not yet.
Because we
Yes.
still have it up.
Oh, he's gonna wait until the very end.
Well, I don't know. You can ask him if he can pull it up. I don't think we have.
So we can get data on who called in?
Well, not on
Just
just
the
the
number,
number, just on like how many
people.
Yeah.
how many calls.
That's great.
I shared
We know
it with my daughter. She's like, how do you do like the P?
Oh.
That's cute.
Very cute.
No, not really cute. She was in high school.
A very teachable moment.
It was. And then she was like, she's like, I knew what to do. I just wanted to make sure. I was like, okay.
Let's see. Other updates, Greenway and Firefly, we're working on contracts for all those artists. They're all already approved and everything. We're just still in the contracting phase, and that can kind of go on for longer than we'd like. The one update I have about Greenway is one of our Greenway artists is expecting her first child, and that was you know, it was so many months ago, a lot can change in a few months. So now, you know, she's like, I don't really want to be on a lift at 8 months pregnant in the middle of the summer. Can I not do that? And it's like, great, yeah, let's not do that. And so she's going to postpone until next spring, when she's in a better spot. And of course, this project isn't tied to any, construction or anything like that. So there's no reason that we can't just, you know, put that off for and accommodate her. So that'll be a little bit farther down. The smaller mural is on track to hopefully be done this summer. And then the two firefly sculptures, depending on when we get those contracts done, will be probably later in the year. So a lot of exciting stuff. So that's pretty much most of project updates. I do want to give a short presentation about Fire Station 5. So, and this is nothing that you have to vote on. It's just something to think about and we can discuss, you know, next meeting. Because it's in very early stages.
We're gonna vote on it next meeting.
I mean, it doesn't have to be voted
Okay.
on next meeting, but discussed next meeting. So, SPLOST 2020 project number 6 is Fire Station number 5. This is the fire station that's on Whit Davis Road on the east side. So they are going to be, you know, it's going to be a new building. Right now, it's very early on in the project. They're still working on site selection, so they don't even have a land selected yet to build it. Never mind a preliminary design or anything like that. It's very early stages, but I was contacted by the project manager, and they wanted to discuss the art because the firefighters have they have this old truck. It's a very old, like 50s, 60s fire truck that they have there. They're not using it. You could see it's just kind of they use it for like a weight bench basically right now. But it's really cool. And it's got all these fun little levers and dials and all kinds of things. Doohickeys, indeed. Yeah, I don't know what those things are. Doohickeys sounds right. So, they're talking about the future of this truck, and it could just be auctioned off to a collector. They, you know, auction off a lot of surplus things that the, you know, county can't use. But one of the things that was discussed was harvesting some of its parts to use for the public art for that site. So, you know, this is going to be one of our projects whenever it gets to that stage in planning. The user group for this project is all firefighters. So it's firefighters and central services. They were thinking that the truck parts could be mounted maybe on the side of the building and made into some sort of like interactive kind of something. You know, I don't really know like a good example of what that would look like. I was thinking maybe, you know, what if there were a mural and it was like some of it was 3D and it used actual truck parts, something like that. But then I thought maybe that's too specific. You know, if we were to do a call for art and say, oh, okay, you have to use these parts in this specific way, you know, does that kind of take out the sort of the creative, I don't know, whatever you, is it too specific to say, you know, we want to take these parts and have them be some sort of interactive, educational, but also it's art, but is it still art?
Didn't we kind of do that with like the trestle pieces?
So,
Some people.
so that's a great, I'm glad you brought that up because we haven't really done a project with salvage parts until Firefly, which we're doing now. And of course, we haven't seen the results of that yet. And that's more of like we have this steel.
Yeah.
You can use it however you want.
This is
Kind of, this is a little more
Like,
specific.
right.
And the part about that I actually don't like is that is a very valuable piece of history
Mm.
that you don't want to chop up into pieces and use.
They have
you
no
know,
qualms about chopping it up.
Well, I mean,
Just,
I
I'm
like
just saying, like,
there's a
Right.
better way to maybe do that than to chop up a
The,
vintage.
the options here are, it's auctioned off or it is repurposed for something else. Because we don't have a way to retain it, you know, it's,
yeah.
Can it not be the, like, can it be not intact, a part of the art for that fireplace? Yeah, I mean, like,
I guess that's what that's kind of what you're.
Yeah,
proposing.
so again, like, we don't have to vote on this or decide this now. This is just kind of something to think about. I mean, I just gave you this information, so if you want to sit on it and think of like how could,
it be muralized, you know?
I mean, there's a lot I think that could be done with the truck. And I think if we present them with another option, we just have to have that a little more fleshed out so they can get a
Yeah, I'd
better
hate to
idea.
see it
And
kind
how
of-
would we invite artists to respond to that
Right.
as the project? So be thinking about that.
Does the truck still run?
That's a good question. I've never seen it running. It looks like it could be restored. I looked at the, I mean, it's got the engine, it's still, I'm sure a collector could restore
It's
it.
important to find out like the value
Yeah.
first before you do anything.
Well, A, can it be, though it still run? B, what would the value of it be? And C, what kind of use can the county get out of it? Like, could it be, parades? Could it be?
No,
educational
they don't want to,
school?
no, they don't want to, they
We're
don't,
not gonna-
they either want to use it for the art
Or,
or auction it off,
Yeah.
because it's just kind of taking up a lot of space.
and because
So
we
does
also,
it
we have.
belong to that, I mean, who's it belong to?
That station.
It
belongs
belongs
to
to the county.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So the county owns it, but the firefighters get to decide what happens to it.
So they're not interested in adding it as a part of the fleet.
Oh, no, no.
I'm sure it can't. We have we have,
Yeah.
responsibility to be as cost efficient as possible. We have these vehicles and they need to be able to run and do
Yeah.
the things and they're response emergency vehicles. So
Yeah, it's not up to the standards of a modern.
I don't know who that, but
Fire
that's not what we're.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're gonna get public art at this new fire station. And what I guess Tatiana's asking us is, do we want to think about whether or not we want to include this?
Will the truck be a part of it or
Yeah.
not, basically?
Yeah.
Not, they're not looking for ideas for what else they could do with the
Deconstructed truck
That's
statue.
Yeah, see, I think something like that would be kind of more
Yeah.
on par with
Say that
what
again.
we
Like
do.
a deconstructed truck.
Right.
Like it's
That both pays homage to the past, but also like kind of postmodern and playful and.
But I guess the decision has to be made before the call, because you can't be like, you can do whatever you want, or if you want to use this truck, you can
Right.
use this
And
truck.
consider the user group is largely firefighters.
Right.
Right.
And that's their spot. It's not just where they go to work every day. They like sleep there and eat
Yeah.
there. And
That was
that's a
my
big
other-
part of
yeah.
around their identity, right?
Yeah,
Right.
this is something that they would like to see it used in this way.
I like
And
that idea.
I'm inclined to say, these firefighters, like I said, they not only work there, they live there. This is very much their space. If this is like kind of what they want, I'm inclined to kind of give them sort of what they want. But we also can't just, completely negate our mission. And so, we need to make sure that whatever project we do, it's kind of on mission with.
Is there a budget for the station yet? Is there? any
Oh,
kind of a-
yes.
And I have a question. Is anything else going at that site or is it just the firehouse? Like how the cooperative extension was here and
Right.
there's sort of a.
They don't have a site selected yet, so I
Okay,
can't
that's-
really say. I don't think it's gonna be a shared site.
It's just gonna be the fire station.
Because, they just have the one, fire station where it is now. It'll probably be like a little further down the road. Because it's still gonna be in the same area. They just don't have a site selected yet.
Can you go back to
I
the
think-
photo of the truck real quick?
Well, I'm curious, like, if we did a call, like, do we just say you have this truck? Or do we say, like, do we help deconstruct it to then,
Yeah,
Very
that's
good
a-
question.
yeah.
you know what I
Very
mean?
good question.
Cause like, I don't,
They wouldn't be able to keep the engine in it necessarily because that
Right.
might have environmental
Right.
issues.
Their thoughts are to keep kind of like the front and like some of the, like dials and.
that just
things
seems like
on
a
the
lot for an
side.
artist to then have to find somebody who like cuts a truck in half.
I think it's a little too specific, that, but again, like,
But I mean, but it's not, I don't think
Right.
it's too bad if like it's basically you get a box of things, not a box, but a garage full. You know, and then,
But you were going back to the budget to check what the art budget would be. Right?
I'm looking it up right now and
But then that would also change it. I mean, I think there's plenty of artists who value a creative limitation like this, where it's like, here's a box of cool stuff that you can make something with. Like, I think sometimes you can get, like, you can get really cool things that would, maybe the user group would respond to more because it's, like, they would, I don't know, be able to like relate to it a little bit more because like, it wouldn't just be like, here's a mural about flowers and here's a mural, I don't know, something like totally, like, just totally up to the artist. Like we had, even with I'm just thinking about like the Arts and Community Award, where we've done, some of those where we've done with a theme and the artist really responded positively as far as I know to that. Because it's like, I don't know, I just think there's power in responding to a theme or working within some sort of limitation. You can like find some fun ways to play in that, but I would be interested in like the logistics if, say, the budget was more appropriate to like a smaller,
say it's
like,
30
what do you do logistically with this truck? And is that realistic? And would that be worth it for the cool possibilities of the material or maybe not? I don't know.
I'm gonna say 30, early 30s-ish
Low
thousand.
30s,
Yeah.
for value.
Yeah, no, not of the truck, of
No,
the,
for
of the
the
project.
call.
Yeah. The total budget is 6 million, over 6 million, but that's not all construction, so.
So a priority for the group is to have an interactive and educational, like the art itself be interactive and educational.
Right.
And educational about fire trucks.
I guess.
Okay. How many, so I'm thinking about the last time we did, like recently, the fire truck haul, and that was specifically like a memorial, right?
Mhm.
Are projects like this always tied so tightly to the site like that? With fire hall specifically, or with like other sort of, yeah, I'm thinking about like even like the community center murals or something like that, are they? I don't know.
Well, that's different because that's coming from a different funding source.
Yeah, but as far as the,
So it has to be like
I mean-
within obvious connection,
Like
physical,
the
like
content of the art?
proximity.
The
Oh, no.
no, not.
Yeah, I'm thinking like the theme content, stuff
Oh.
like that of the art, like is that all, cause I'm just thinking that fire hall obviously was like so specific to like, this is a memorial for,
Well, I think that's where that's where the user group, yeah.
that's just where they're.
And again, this user group is gonna be similar to that previous user group. It's mostly firefighters and central services discuss.
But education's a huge part of being a firefighter. They go to do all this education with young people. They go to the school, so, that's why I was asking if there was another, because I know they're gonna build a library on the east side, but I don't know where it goes. So I was like trying to understand if they were going near each other, but I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's an adjacent, like, that would definitely change like.
Like,
ideas,
my
direction.
question was thinking like, who is going to interact with this art object at this fire station?
Right.
And are you just like happen to be next door and you wander over and kids might be like, oh, can we please go play with the nifty fire truck wall? As an example, or is it like drive me to the fire station?
Maybe
I'm
just
just
like
like that. So I think they haven't selected a site, so I can't
Fire
answer. the
station just
question.
hanging around, I mean, like, that seems like a safety issue. Do they care if?
I don't
kids are
know.
just-
That's a
yeah.
good question. So it's a little bit to understand like how they envision it and how the site was selected.
You are an expert at that.
So these are good questions. This is kind of like, but this also gives y'all an opportunity to, if you're interested in this, to look at like how have other people like incorporated
Yeah, I was
a
trying to.
car or into an art object, or, there's a lot of, that's immobile. Like it's not supposed to get driven anymore or have any kind of, like, it doesn't need to be in that way
It's
function.
very interesting.
It is, to get the specs, I was Googling to see how much it was worth.
I know, I was doing that too.
I'm glad that you've introduced it to us now so that we can
It's
think
a lot
about it
less
for a long time instead of having to figure it out today.
I mean, yeah, they don't even have a site, so I think it's.
Yeah, it's
not like
very,
this
very
is a-
early on.
the-
They're really just trying to decide the future of this truck because
Yeah.
it does take up a lot of space and they're obviously not using it as a fire truck.
Right.
So what are they gonna do with the current building once they build a new one?
It's a good question. I imagine if it's not being used as a fire station, it'll either be converted into something else or demoed. I don't know.
A fire truck museum. We don't have one that I'm aware of.
Probably not on the list. I like where your head's at.
I mean, I kind of like the idea of, just thinking out loud here, but like, the idea of not knowing what the inside of it is like what if you gutted it and then like the whole object stayed essentially intact, but you gutted it to have, you know how like I'm thinking of like the botanical gardens or something, this is the first example that came to mind, in the children's garden, it's like a linear like walking thing, and it tells you the story of like how a watershed works. Like, I don't know, you could do something like that, and like what kid doesn't like getting physically into a fire truck?
No.
So like, if there's a way to like ground it, obviously it would not be mobile,
Right.
but a way to like
I
preserve the object, but then have it transformed.
I don't think they are wanting to keep it in its
Entire.
entire
Because it's too
form.
big.
It's just too big.
Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
I know, it's,
But depending on the site.
Yeah, so think about it, and it just gives y'all something to like
Yeah.
mull over and like.
and again, like, y'all don't need to decide anything,
Yeah.
or we don't.
And it would have
just
to be
that-
outside the firehouse, or is it, would it?
Well, it's, public art, so thinking about accessibility and, I mean, technically, a fire station is like, anyone can go into a fire station at any time, because there should hopefully be someone there. But
if it was outside, you would be much more like, I can go look at that
Exactly.
versus I'm gonna knock on the door and see if I
Right.
can go look at that.
Right.
Or like, you might not even know it's there. unless
Exactly.
you just know it's
Or what
there.
about like a bus shelter? I'm saying.
We just said bus shelter. at the
Yeah.
same time.
Yep. I
Is
mean,
there- Is there a bus station near there? That might be interesting to consider.
I mean, as far as if there's a stop
Yeah.
that's
Like
near the
there's
new
a-
site,
Yeah.
perhaps.
Again, that's probably something you want to until like.
Yeah.
But like, there's a fire, what's mine? Is it number 2? Oh, I don't know. Does anybody District
Which
6?
one?
At Hawthorne and Oglethorpe, there's the fire.
Oh, the
hall,
one that used to be.
And then there's, I don't know.
The old one, that's now the.
The vet, that's far.
That's pretty new.
I'm talking about Fire Hall 4 is the.
Fire Hall 4 is the-
Right.
And then now there's the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
down on
Yeah.
Oglethorpe.
Yeah.
Oglethorpe.
Yes. Anyway, there's a bus station right outside of that.
Yes.
So, again, adjacencies would be cool, but you won't know until,
Right.
yeah, and I don't know. I mean, maybe it would be close enough to be specifically associated, but maybe not. Or you could split, I mean, it's a lot of material, and you could also potentially split it, like,
Yeah.
some of it goes into interactive walkthrough or something like that. That would be the art on site, and then maybe a lot of metal.
Yeah, I was thinking though, that would give us like at least a division of something, so that the artist isn't having to do all, I just don't need, I don't know.
Yeah, I could see, a big portion of it being made into a bus shelter and then like some of the more ornate pieces being included in the public art that would be at.
With all those cool brass
Yeah.
knobs. I mean, there's a ton of metal. We just
Cannonballs.
I was thinking about this, at the museum I worked at, we had an interactive children's part of the museum, and one of the most popular and noisiest parts was this huge like magnet wall, and it had just like metal stuff, and kids would go ham on that thing all the time. They loved it. And I was thinking about that when I saw this, because I was just imagining like a large magnetic piece where lots of this pieces and other things got, because we did periodically have to go and like kind of replace some of the pieces. Just because it was just like anything metal, so it was just like cookie tins and any kind of random stuff, because kids, it was just different objects, you could layer them up because it was strong enough of a magnet. Anyway, that's what I kept coming around to when I saw it. Could have,
Yeah, so education, they're thinking like field trip age kiddos. Probably is the
Probably.
target sort of audience.
If you
for
ever,
these.
that touch a truck is like a huge thing.
Yeah.
Touch a truck. Touch a truck is a big deal. For
Keep them very nameless.
humans of a certain age.
Okay. That's awesome. I think it's very
So,
cool.
something to think about, you're off on your own, you get brilliant ideas about.
If you see something out in the world.
Yeah, and especially if you can find an example, maybe we can put some ideas together. And, and again, this will be an ongoing conversation, with that user group once they get rolling, but just you know, it's a big thing and they want to figure out what they're doing with it. So,
I just wanted to go back to the arena selection. How, for those, who's been at those? Because I wasn't able to go. How,
Yes.
is it really cool stuff? Is it exciting? Is it gonna be a contentious battle to the death? Eye-opening, yeah. And people from the Classic Center are part of that user group as well. Is there anything, are they excited about it? Yeah.
Just
I hate I missed that.
one thing to think about with that is it got a lot of attention because we saw the numbers, but it's an RFQ.
Yeah.
So lots of
Right.
people were able to, show
Send
what
in
work they'd already done and turn in something. And we got just like some really high caliber art. It was competitive. I mean, there was a lot of applicants and a lot of good artists submitted their
That is
You
so cool.
had, I think, two of the people that were interviewing,
Yeah.
Sharon.
Marissa. Yeah.
and Sally.
Justine and Sally,
Sally.
yeah, so we had three of the people that were interviewing.
Oh, let's not name names.
Yeah.
in the
Oh,
meeting.
my bad.
Yes, that was my bad too, but we'll just.
Well, just to see that our perspective
Folks.
candidates being
folks.
involved
In-
in the
yeah.
design of the
Yeah.
project was good.
So on May 24th, those are like final decisions for all three
Yes.
sites. Oh, okay.
Yes,
It's exciting.
it
It
is.
is.
It is.
These are big projects. And this-
Yeah.
That's gonna be a big site and this is a huge, it's a big deal.
And it's a lot, making sure all these finalists have everything they need. They ask a lot of questions. And having to go back to the designers and to the project managers and to,
So how many finalists, when you say the finalist, I mean, are there like 10 did y'all?
Oh,
I mean, are-
so there's three, we had 4 for one site, 4 for another site because we had ties, and then 3 for the third. There was
Okay.
supposed to just be 3 for
Got it.
each, but sometimes we have ties.
Got it.
The largest, I would think the most, of course, important part is the actual installation part. And I'm sure that, having to work with the engineers and the
Mhm.
site people
Yeah.
is essential on that. 'Cause it's,
And that's why we're doing it, selecting the art so early in the construction phase, so we can make sure that, that there's, lighting, conduit, and everything's integrated into the facility.
In 2-3 years, or whatever.
Next year.
Next year.
I don't know if anyone's been over there. They're moving.
It's moving, yeah, it does, it is.
It's hard to
moving.
see. If you go up to the top of the parking deck, you can look down and see like,
I go there every week for rehearsal for the
Okay.
symphony, so parking has been somewhat limited.
I'll bet. Oh, yeah, sure.
I'm sure. So
What's with the Bethel Homes, like new development site?
The
that
affordable
is, as far as like our
Last year.
conversation, it's moved till next year.
housing, spring 24.
we keep getting, because our parking lot is like non-existent because they're blasting across the street. And so it's like, it's gonna be done in March. No, it's gonna be done in April. No, it's gonna be done in May. No, it's gonna be done in June. Right now, we're in July, when they're saying that just our parking will be done. I don't think it's gonna be done in July.
I mean, both of those projects, the affordable housing and the arena project, are gonna really transform downtown in the next few years. I mean, it's really gonna be holy day.
I did think it was interesting when they were doing the site, when they were showing the site plans, how he called it the center of the donut for the future development. So he said like the arena is like the middle of,
Right, this is talking about the future, entertainment district that they're
Got
kind of fleshing out. So there's gonna be more hotels, more parking, more restaurants, kind of all in that vicinity in the next few years.
And that's somehow connected to the Jackson Street Art Walk,
Not the arena,
not the arena.
affordable housing,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember I was just looking through that, your project tracker, which everybody should look at, it's great and thorough. But I just remember last time we talked about it, we were interested in, it was like developments around the firehouse, I think, again, firehouse. And it was gonna maybe impact the ability to close off that street for there's gonna be like a pedestrian corridor, idea was like art
Yeah.
engagements all along it. Has there been any updates around that?
It's Jackson Street is Project 33.
Out of, what
out
are we
of-
now?
Like, well, I mean, fire station number 5 is number 6.
Yeah.
And, like, it's like
So,
Classic
yeah,
Center
you're
Arena is 3.
Yeah.
So it'll be a while before we really revisit the Jackson Street art. walk.
33.
Oh,
33.
Just watch.
Just to give an example, so SPOS 2011, projects, cost of building, I think is project 34.
Two.
This is 32,
It's very
thank
close.
you.
Good job.
And, we're still,
That's plus 2011 and we're talking about.
but they actually,
20.
cost of building is moving. They did, approve some plans for that. They still have not decided who's gonna be in that building yet. And we're still waiting on that before we revisit our art conversation. Because.
Again, just to serve better, like who the
Right.
users of the
Do
space.
we do inside? Do we do
Public.
outside?
I
Right,
mean, it'll be public in some way, but
Right.
like, will people?
exactly. How public,
will it be in
yeah,
Offices or
exactly.
question.
So, I'll let you know when it's time to kind of revisit those discussions, with the cost of building user group. But, cool, yeah, so hopefully sooner rather than later. That's kind of it on project stuff. Did you have outreach stuff?
Yeah, sure.
to talk about? Yeah.
Can we move to outreach?
Yeah, thank you, Catherine.
Share.
That was
Okay.
great.
I love a slide deck. Yeah, great job.
Do you like the red? for
Uh,
the fire?
yeah, very, very good. Yes, noted.
Cool. So we had, our outreach team meeting, a month ago. And so we had, myself, Ezra, Kimberly, Manju, and Serena there. We mostly talked about how we can support all the poetry events last month. I saw, let's see, you and me and Jen were at the, Poetry in the Park, which was so fabulous, and I hope it can become some kind of recurring thing. There was a great turnout. I mean, I counted just like kind of scanning around like 50 people, 50 adults plus kids.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Like that's a lot of people for a
On
public
a
event like this.
beautiful day.
It was
Yeah.
a gorgeous.
And it wasn't just
Stay to the
it was
outside.
just
Yeah.
come and listen. So I think that's awesome, and I think that speaks to like people being open and hungry for art and parks, which we all love. And like the lantern parade, turnout and stuff like that. So I'll come back to that. Did anybody make it to the trail, opening? I did not, I couldn't make it. I forget why. I had some school thing, but it
You mean
looked
the ribbon
awesome.
cutting for
Yeah.
The Firefly Trail, it looks like a
It
great
was,
turnout.
it was crazy.
It was the
turnout.
biggest turnout I've ever.
And Esther made it. That's great. People
Mm-hmm.
on buses, the photos were great. I can't wait to
King
check
of
it out.
Pops was.
Yeah, if you haven't been riding on that bridge, it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Also.
How does it keep up?
Yeah, King of Pops did a hit.
Nice.
Yeah. And water
yeah,
bottles,
it
they
may have
gave
been-
away, water bottles with the bridge
Yeah.
on them, on it.
Nice. Well, I'll be excited to check that out as like an official, trail connector, not something that people may or may not have climbed on in the past. Maybe or maybe not, including me 10 years ago. So anyway, what was I gonna say? So speaking about the art and parks, we love like sort of the engagements we've been seeing recently. And we floated this, or we came up with what we think could be a fun engagement idea to, again, go beyond like, here's the new sculpture in the unveiling, let's celebrate it, but like, let's encourage people to, thinking about like encouraging people to interact with the art beyond, like throughout its whole life cycle, not just right at the beginning, right? So, so we had this idea for, working, just super rough draft working idea would be picnic in the park. And the idea is, one, just encourage people to like use the parks, which are great, to encourage them to engage with art. And also just as like a really low-key, low budget, low to no budget way for us as, volunteer commissioners to connect with people. And ideally also, it would require more planning and some budget, and obviously like, yeah, collaboration with all the stakeholders involved, but wouldn't it be cool if we could also do some sort of like an artist talk or some sort of like interactive, fun, educational thing that, like maybe Outreach could put together. We have like our bus shelter, public art map that we've done for some of our engagements, we could do something similar if we didn't maybe have, if it wasn't at the right time, like an artist talk or something, so different ideas, but yeah, I sent the notes to Tatiana. Do you have an update to share today about that?
No, I haven't done any.
Yeah, it's okay, no worries. But yeah, so our time I did share that with Tatiana, and we got the guidance that if we were to do something like that, we would work with staff liaison to help like coordinate with the facility and make sure we had like proper like composting bins and recycling bins and just make it really easy for people to have a good time and not have to worry about where the waste is going. But yeah, so I think we're gonna work on that idea, and we outreach would love to do some sort of just basically like a trial run, which is basically just a picnic for us to get together if you want, just to have some fun and get to know each other a little bit. Maybe that's something we could do when we have our new members,
That'd be nice.
in like June-ish. I know it'll be warm, maybe extremely hot, but we could maybe take a, yeah, we can, Bishop Park especially has, not Bishop, what's the one I'm thinking of? Dudley Park, where we've had the lantern parade. There's like lots of shady, fun areas, and like that's where the trail is. So so we were thinking that would be a great place if we had a public event or like a, you know, a pilot run. So I'd love to do that sometime this summer. Yeah, just as like a casual fun thing for us, and to just get out there in the space and ideate like what would maybe work, or like what would be fun to try this with in like a public way. So that was the main thing. We had a couple of other ideas that would be like longer term plans that I need to like put into writing and get to Tatiana so she can start thinking about like, you know, just all the process of like, oh, we would need like a year lead time, or here's the people we would need to talk to for this kind of thing. But some of the ideas really just coming back to what we talked about before, we're like, we'd love to do, wouldn't it be cool with, again, with all of these ideas, that's the tone we're setting, not like we're saying we're absolutely gonna do it and we'll be disappointed if we don't, just ideas. But the bus shelters, we'd love to do a public tour of those. Maybe utilizing a bus, and maybe we could pick locations that would be easy to do, like maybe there's a parking lot nearby, so you could stop and have someone actually like talk for a couple minutes about that space, whether that's Tatiana or an artist or something. So obviously anybody can drive by those or see them on the bus, things like that, but just do a little bit more engagement again beyond just the like ribbon cutting first stage of this art piece, and encourage people to maybe take a little more notice of things that are around them, appreciation for the art that is there. So that was the big idea. So that would obviously be like a really long-term planning thing, a lot of different literally moving parts on that. I think those are the two big ideas anyway we had. Did you have a question?
Did we decide if we were gonna do outreach at like Athens and?
About to get to that. Yeah, so we have, one thing we would really like the outreach team to do is ideally monthly, but as often as makes sense, maybe engagement events, like tabling, so really low key. We have materials for it already, but we could maybe look at how we could make that more fun and engaging. Like we have one activity board that's fun for all ages, which is the public art map. Basically, I did, we had like an arts and crafts night and made it last year or 2 years ago, whenever it was. And with like pictures of the public art, there's a line tied to where it is, and there's blue, and then you have to place the picture where the clue is. So kids are shockingly great at it. So that's really cool to see, probably better than the adults. But we could do more fun things like that at tabling events. So it's not like anything formal, like we would do a survey or something. It's more of just like an opportunity to connect and get people excited about the art that's already out there and will be coming along. So we have a couple ideas that would require TBD, but it's really small amounts of funding. So now that we have the ops budget update, I think some amount was built in there for that. It's kind of just like outreach needs, but I don't remember what the exact amount was. But main priorities that we talked about, this would be several in June, maybe just kind of making up for lost time since we haven't done anything in the last couple months. But Athfest on June, like the weekend of June 23rd, I guess is what I have written down. It's a couple $100.
Sorry to interrupt you with
Yeah.
Athfest, but I did talk to Athfest about doing the announcement for the Walk of Fame inductees
Cool.
this year again on the stage.
We have to do round again.
Oh, yeah, they've already been selected. I'm not sure if, Mayor Gertz has managed to contact everybody yet, but they've already been selected, and so we're on track to do that announcement again. Who's gonna do it?
Yeah, MC.
So,
That's great.
so yeah, they were all about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So yeah, we'd love to have a table there, and ideally on Saturday, the main day. Considering that it's us volunteers staffing it, we can probably only do one of those days. So that's why we would probably do just Saturday. But we could look at like what everybody's availability was, what any other like leisure services group or another BAC or something want to share our tent, because I think it's like at least $250 or something like that for Saturday. So if we have the budget for that, then that would be great, reach a lot of people, arts specific event. The other ideas were Hot Corner Festival on June 10th, so that'd be before. There's a tabling fee, but I'm not sure what it is. And then also Pride Parade on June 3rd. There's an event at the Foundry Pavilion. Suggested donation of tables, what I have written down. So those are the three we were looking at. So if we could, one, have the budget and operations to pay the tabling fees, and two, if we have the volunteer bandwidth to staff them, then we can do them. I don't know, do we have any thoughts, feelings about like, is 3 too many? Should we go for it? What's everybody's June looking like? Thoughts? Anecdotes?
I don't know. I mean, I would, what? Like, I don't know. I remember being at AthFest last year, and I mean, I think there's a lot of, I mean, it's a good audience, but I don't know about the other, I'm not as familiar with the other stuff, so I don't know.
I don't think we've done anything on the other two events as far as I've been on the commission, but events only really started up again last year, so.
I mean, Hot Corner Festival, while it's smaller, it definitely is a very specific audience, meaning, you know, Black folks. So I think it would definitely be worth it to try to table there.
It should be on there.
Expand our audience.
Facebook, it should be hard to find the table for you.
Yeah, I'm looking at it, I'm looking it up right now.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we have like in our operating.
think y'all
funds,
have plenty.
yeah, we have $3,050 really still available for what we call like big event, like ribbon cutting events and talks.
Yeah. So I think between these three, I mean, there's no way it would be more than $400 or $500, assuming that even the other two smaller ones would be $100 plus, that would still be under that.
So it would be like Hot Corner late registration started May 1st, and it's $200 per table.
One second, let me write that down.
Do you guys have a tent?
I don't
The
think
pop-up.
we have a tent.
Yeah.
Okay.
It survived the,
I think that.
the rainbow forest.
I think it has a hole in it, but I mean, it, you know. as far as
It
blocking
provided
the sun.
literal shelters to the artist, when they were installing the rainbow forest. No. So I just wanted to check that. So that's 3 events. So if you wanted to do all 3, you could maybe just be like 2 people take on one and say like, I'll do this, you know.
What we did with.
And what the
Athfest-
hours are and things like that, like how long people should stay and things like
Yeah,
that.
what we did last year with Athfest was, it was, I think, 2 or 3 hour shifts. So we had we always had 2 people at the table. So we definitely want to do 2 people at the table again. So like, if you have to go to the bathroom, if you have a question you don't know how to answer,
And had the fans.
yeah, we had the fans were fun.
The fans were
And
fun.
we can do them again, if we have the information in time, cause I think, well, actually, we didn't have the names on there, we just said it's gonna be announced.
Right.
Sorry, it wasn't the names, it wasn't.
It was just written there.
It's a secret.
That was fun.
Right.
People liked that.
I love the.
Is that
Yeah,
okay?
that's awesome.
Is that kind of thing okay
yeah.
with that?
Well,
You gotta ask them.
I mean, probably,
I mean,
as long as you paid
it's-
your fee, you know,
Yeah,
if you want to hand out fans.
Yeah.
That's
because
true.
there's a-
well,
So-
we can do the fan thing, I mean, I think I made the file in Canva. I don't think it would take hardly anything to update it, but I can get with you on that.
Okay.
And that budget was, it's probably gonna be about $100, between the printing.
How many
And,
did you make last year, do you remember?
huh?
Do you remember how many you made last year, or how many were made
I
last
think it
year?
was I think it was about at least 100, 200, it was a lot. And we went through every single one, and
Yeah,
I
it's
was
did
gonna
all of them, right?
Right now, pretty early, yeah.
It's like degrees.
Yeah, yeah, if we want to make those, I mean, yeah, it's really easy. But it would be fun to do it, together, at least like,
We can do it at the picnic.
we can do it at the picnic, if we have it early enough, maybe we can have it at the end of this month instead of June, or both, because picnics are great. But yeah, we could have we could even probably have those ready before, like, the first engagement, if we wanted, like, before Hot Corners Day, and like hand them out then, and just so people can know about it early, about the, Walk of Fame announcement happening. Yeah, we could do that. Does that sound good to everybody? And then, yeah, we'll just need to look at, again, let's see. So Hot Corner would be June 10th, so yeah, assuming we could get a table, we could definitely pay for it. We don't have right now, actually in our bylaws, anything around, like, we need a vote, to spend money. We have it for the, like, next draft that we haven't voted on. But I think it would just come down to chair saying, yes, you can spend that money, right? Okay.
Just as yes.
Yeah, Victoria says
Like, sure, yeah,
Yes.
I know.
yeah, we have plenty. These would be great events. So yeah, I'll look up the Pride Parade. That's June 3rd. So that'd be the earliest, a little less than a month. I'll look up if they still have availability and what the budget would be and stuff like that. Question mark. So I think the way we could do sign up for that would be maybe similar to how I did this form for the outreach events, and I've never sent out something like this, but I wanted to, since there were so many different events. And it's really helpful to know, like, yeah, whatever everybody's responses were. So we could do something like this, and that, or maybe Doodle, or maybe there's a way to do them together. I think last year we used Doodle.
Sign Up Genius.
Sign Up Genius.
Sign Up Genius is a good one.
Yeah, that's the only schools use.
So with the table fees and the fans, we're thinking like $600 just to earmark. Do we need more fans if we're gonna do 2 events?
If we're gonna do 3 events, too,
Oh.
yeah, we would. But I can look at what the printing order was last year. I'm sure they would have like a document, or maybe we could find it in an email or something.
Was it
and see.
Belgian?
It was definitely Belgian.
Still have it.
Yeah,
They'll have it.
and then we.
Did you
figure
have to
out
put
the
the sticks on there or they came?
They
put
put
like
like, didn't y'all cut them out and?
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
Can they do?
I was in. You might see about,
Yeah, because we have the budget
Yeah,
right
ask
now,
them
we
to do
might
it.
see if
Yeah.
there's a place that does it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can ask. It is like, it's not just like you can use a cutter, like we did it
Yeah.
shaped as the pin.
yeah.
Did we like the pin?
You mean,
Pin shape?
It's shaped like a
you mean the
guitar.
Guitar
pick?
pick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guitar pick / location pin, I think it's supposed to go. either way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, ink pen? Okay.
Yeah.
I
So
like
we can,
guitar
yeah,
I did too.
And
yeah,
I think, that's really something, like, I think, there's a new downtown ambassadors program that is also using that guitar pick on their shirts too, so it's, yeah.
Oh. Wait, who is?
Remember I tried to ask, I remember I emailed you about that?
I remember every email we've ever sent.
They're not supposed to.
Oh, they're using like the music walk of fame.
They're using the music on the thing.
A lot of people are, it's becoming a problem.
Yeah, I emailed you about that, who owns it?
ACC Gov owns it in perpetuity.
Well, I'm just
They have to
saying.
do-
Cool, and the last little question we had, I think I know the answer, but, so we have for IDing at all these events we're going to, we have our tags in your office.
In my
Mine is
mailbox.
in your mailbox.
So if you don't have your tag, it's,
No, you can have-
yeah.
Yes.
Do I have any?
Do you want me to go get them right now?
Do I?
I don't know if Kimberly has one. I need to get one for you.
I think I've had mine for
Sensory.
3 years and it's been sitting in your mailbox for 3 years.
You want me to get them? They're in your mailbox right now.
Okay, I'll go see.
Did we also remember we talked about?
I know. So, are you gonna run and get them? 'Cause I have a
I'll
question.
give you that.
I have a question before we walk away. So we have our name tags, but is it possible for us to also get something like T-shirts or hats or something as a more signifying like ID? Or would that need to be self-directed financially? Like if we got like ACAC member T-shirts, would that be?
Oh,
Like
I
a
mean, you can
utility
do it.
clause
You wanna
thing,
use
or
your
would that-
budget for that.
I think that's a great
Okay.
idea,
Mhm.
especially for all the tabling we're gonna
Okay,
do.
so that wouldn't be like a gratuity clause issue.
I don't think so, because you're wearing them in your, in your capacity to be like, I'm recognizable
Right.
as like an official person.
Yeah.
Representing this government agent.
Gotcha.
Commission, yeah.
Okay,
I like that idea.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
cool. Yeah, we had,
I would even wear a polo.
oh.
Wow.
I will say no.
Oh.
Good with it.
Every day.
Would you wear a baseball cap?
Definitely wear a baseball cap.
Perhaps is a good idea, because we'll have our name tag, so it's like redundancy if you have a name tag on a shirt. But
Yeah.
I don't know, my MBA teachers say it again, and say it one more time, so.
I agree, double that.
Yeah.
Kimberly's pointing at that one.
And agreement.
And the,
Oh,
if-
let's start with help. Close.
Do you happen to know if ACAC's ever done anything like that, like t-shirt, et cetera wise?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, I'll check with Tatiana about that, and then the other thing I was thinking regarding tabling, I'm pretty sure the past couple that I've been involved in, we just use a disposable, but it'd be great to get a branded, we already have a branded stand-up banner, but it always goes behind the table, so you can see the top of it, but we could think about getting, like the ACAC has a great, table overlay, I don't know if it's an actual tablecloth, or it's just like something that goes over the front and it says, this is the name, it's just kind of like the
Yeah.
body, so that's just something that would make sense for tabling, that would be, again, like low cost and super reusable, and more sustainable than like disposable plastic tablecloths, things like that, those are things that came to mind, thank you, oh, I'm really official now.
Oh, your real name, your real true name.
Kimberly, would you like to be Linda Ford or Mickey Boyd?
I will order you one. I will order you one. I need to get one for Serena too.
And do Linda.
So, 10 for.
Well, and then do we need a tent?
I have the canopy in my office if y'all want to use that.
Yeah, we can, you have a table.
I don't have a table, but I have a canopy.
I have a table. I have a couple of tables.
Cool, so tees, hats, I'll email Tatiana, we can maybe figure out how to do that. What else did I just say? Maybe a tablecloth or something along those lines that we could reuse that would be branded, might be a good idea. Just to, again, just make it stand out even more at any eye level, that this is what this is. And then I'll look into the fans, look into the costs, and then we'll get a volunteer sheet going,
Anything for the game, kind of the interactive piece of it, that would make it more like sturdy? Or do you feel like it's good?
or give like, do something that could be, ended up being given.
Oh, that's another thing that we really wanted, to look at in previous communities, we didn't talk about this last time, but something to like give away for people, like to take away with them. And I don't know what that could look like something different than a pamphlet. Stickers would be great. Could we do stickers of like art objects,
So,
Oh
right?
my gosh, that would be so great.
Like it doesn't have
Could
to
get
be
the art objects to put on their cups, on their, every time.
Love
they
it.
Okay.
Just did all the.
Yeah,
Yeah, can we take that idea? Can we steal the trail
You could
idea?
hire this artist to do it.
I think that.
that would be really nice.
Because
We allowed,
at a
I
time,
guess we are allowed.
how long would it?
Work for hire, yep. And through your operating budget, you could.
And we don't have to get like three, we don't have to.
I don't
We can also iteratively.
We
So
did,
if
well,
we-
it depends on if it's over a certain amount.
If we need a sticker for like next month, maybe we don't have time to hire someone to make custom stuff.
Definitely not.
So we can think iteratively and do maybe here's version 1 to get something that people are excited to take with them, and then maybe in the future, when we have a little more
Add
time.
new art, add a different piece, like we're doing with the Music Walk of Fame, we do 3 stickers next year and then 3 stickers the next year and just keep adding local art and people.
Yeah,
can do
there's,
this.
again, that idea of like, it doesn't have to be perfect the first time, right? We can like make it better in the future, but just.
Are,
The chicken would make a good
Successful.
first one too.
are there rules about the photographs?
ACC owns them.
Yeah. And I guess it depends on who took the actual photograph.
Well, you
You
can
know, it's
hire
the-
someone to take the
yeah.
photograph, or you could, depends on what you want the sticker to look like. You could do, I don't know, we'll have to think about this.
Well, cause even like, even if it was like somebody did a sketch of it,
Yeah.
then it's like, does that,
That might not be
Great.
something that we can do in a short amount of
I
time.
also have, There is an artist who makes these kinds of things anyway. I forget their name, but I can look into it, and I don't know if that's something we would want to.
Give it to me in an email,
Yes.
like, this is what we want, and
Yep.
here's how we want it.
Yep.
And we'll see, we'll see what we can do.
Sure. Back to the app question, do you have a contact you're already talking to related to market stuff, or should I just reach out to?
I
artists
haven't
at
talked to them
Kate's?
about market
Okay,
stuff.
yeah.
I've just talked to them about.
So my Chad Hall is in charge of artist market. I work with him,
Okay,
so I can ask him
Sure.
tomorrow.
there's a general email, I can reach out to, but if you have something.
chall@accag.
Okay, I might just email this one and then I can CC that person, if that's appropriate, but. Any other thoughts or questions?
I
Renee?
emailed you the form for the hot corner
Thank you.
as well.
Any other thoughts or questions or ideas that we could look into before next month?
There's a lot. That was well done.
Oh, thanks.
Well done.
So let's see, so the first engagement opportunity here, the Pride on the 3rd and Hot Corner, we would not meet again before that time. So this is definitely all gonna be like email communications. So if I send out an RSVP form or like a sign up genius, whatever form, please respond to it quickly, because these would be like pretty quick decisions on, do we have capacity, like staff this? Okay, yes, we do, so let's pay for it, kind of things. Yeah.
Cool.
Good? That's all I have.
Thank you.
That's a lot.
That's all you have.
I know.
Sure.
That's it.
I'm just looking at our notes and pretty much.
No, it's good.
That's it.
Active.
It's nice to be creative and do things. Oh, and if anybody wants to look at our outreach notes, you just go into the drive under team notes. There's like the outreach team and strategy team, and that's where all the minutes get popped up, uploaded for those minutes. So they're just like informal minutes, so you can check it out if you want.
Do we want to go ahead and earmark some money for the hats and t-shirts, table cover type things, even though we don't have specific shift, just so I can add it as a line item?
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's something you could, I mean, a version of it you could realistically do before before at least, Athens maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So t-shirts are a huge variation in price, like I just priced them. If you go with 48, which is everybody's minimum order, they're like $10 a piece. But if you want smaller numbers, here in town, Goober Prints will do, one, but it's like $25 for a shirt. So that's just something to keep in mind.
Sure.
It's a huge difference depending on the numbers that you order.
Yeah, I don't think we would have a function for these outside of like for like current members and maybe like staff liaison type of folks. So it's not,
More than 25 shirts.
No.
Yeah, well, future members. But are you gonna change the design? That's
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, I mean, version 1, again, iterative, right? We might just be like,
basic, yeah.
and then why not do a shelter or something like that? Cool, but yeah, I'll look into it and I'll be in touch with Tatiana about how it could work. But for, let's see, what would be just like the biggest it could possibly be like 25 t-shirts at $25, right? 625.
Satisfactory does 24, so call. I know it for sure, but my boy.
24 minimum run, you mean?
24 is their minimum.
Well, so if we did 25, which obviously is too many, but like that would be a buffer for future members. Just do like average, a couple sizes in each size.
Except for, the girl.
Yes, we will have.
I want the shirt fit.
That'd be like 625-ish plus tax, or not tax, we don't have to pay tax, right? So, anyway, so you could say rough earmark of 625 or 650 or something like that. Again, not gonna go anywhere close to $3,000. So,
I had one more thing that I was gonna see if y'all wanted to, tune the piano at the public library again. It was $130 last May. So I can arrange that and we can just, send it to your ACAC account.
When was the last time that the Council on Aging was tuned?
That's a good question. I forget that there's one there. It's inside the building, right?
No, it's outside and it's played every day. There is somebody,
Outside?
it's outside, it's been outside the whole time.
Well, there's 2 pianos, 100 and, yeah. So I know, I think about the one at the library because I go there all the
Yeah.
time. Someone's always playing it, so.
Yeah, every day there's somebody playing. There's a guy who actually comes down here and composes.
Fantastic. So this is something that, I can arrange if y'all want me to.
I'd say
Yes,
yes to
please.
that. That seems
So.
easy
yes,
peasy.
okay.
Do both.
Yeah, do both of them.
Both pianos. Okay, excellent. I wanted to also just do an update to let you guys know that I'm gonna be out of town, starting next week through the end of June or through the end of May. And then Tatiana's gonna be out of town for the first half of June. So I'll be, running this meeting on the 12th of June. So any things that come up in June, need to make sure if you, like, since we're putting a lot of stuff on the calendar, which is great, I'm gonna be here, I'm here for all of it. But you'll need to, if you need something, you'll have to come to me, for it. Because Tati will be unavailable.
You said the piano's 130 each.
And that's what he charged me last time.
Okay.
And he was really, it was really easy. I easily paid him. I'm happy to do that and make it happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I was
I'll just
like
send you a
300
receipt.
earmark.
That's great. Yeah. I just think it's nice if we're gonna keep the pianos out there. We painted the other one. Keep them tuned and like, people still enjoy them. I think they're lovely. I forgot all about the one. Thank you for bringing it up.
Need to be repainted oddly.
That's
It's in great shape. It looks good. But I don't know if they've ever had it tuned, like they might have just taken it on themselves because it sounds fine. I mean, to my untrained
Yes,
ears,
me
it
too.
sounds okay. But, that's a little caveat there, but I'll double check and see if they actually.
Ask them, and if not, then we'll send, this, yeah. This tuner.
Can I go over something real quick? I just want to give everybody the information about this. We're the College Street decks that has the Art Deco project that was done in 2017, 2018. They are redoing that deck, so those paintings are coming down. We are, as an arts council, we're taking possession of them because that was our project. Temporarily, they're going to the roaster. They're going to the Jittery Joe's roaster, and Charlie's gonna hang them on the wall. It's gonna be, he's kind of like Hendershots-esque, where we're just gonna have art on the wall until we figure out what to do with them permanently, full-time, whatever. So, they're lovely. They're amazing, and they're in great shape. And if anybody wants to look at this, these are the paintings that are on the wall, but that's just an update of what's there.
So
And
they're not gonna be returned to their,
they are not, we're gonna do another Art Deco project, so it'll be an updated version. These have been there for almost 6 years, so, they've done their thing, but, yeah, so it's just a little update, so everybody's on the same page. How big are it is? 4x8s.
Those weren't publicly funded, right? They were.
They were by the ADDA
Oh,
and
development.
ACAC.
And the contract, like, we take possession, like, Arts Council now is officially the owners of those.
Okay.
So. Awesome.
Cool. Anything else? Closing remarks?
I have a question about that. You guys don't know what you're gonna do with them yet?
So there's a couple of ideas. Arts Council is broke, like we have no money, so we may try to auction off a couple of them. We're thinking about donating a couple back into the community, so we're trying to identify some good spots for maybe donating. There's 9 of them, so it's, I think we're trying to get one into the school system, I was hoping Lake Park had higher ceilings, because I would love to have one.
How big are they?
4x8.
It's like a full sheet of plywood.
Some of them are vertical, some of them are horizontal. I think there's 2 verticals and the rest are horizontal.
Let me see what's up. Have a look. I was just talking about this earlier today.
Aren't there like 2 of them that are like only 4x6, or are they all, they're definitely 4x8?
I think they're all
I was
4x8.
thinking that,
I think Jared Brown's is
Kira?
actually smaller
or
because
Pierce is small. Which one?
I don't think his
I
is
think
smaller.
Burns is coming.
Jared-
I think
Jared
is-
Brown's, I think, is smaller because it's right under the stairwell.
Okay,
I
that's
think
what I was
that one
thinking.
might
then.
be smaller. But the rest are all the same size. But yeah, Dorian's and Ash Anderson's are vertical.
And it's like sealed painted plywood. It's not like June board or something.
They've been indoors, so they're pretty good shape.
Great shape, yeah.
Other than me having to scrub graffiti off. They're in great shape because she scrubbed them clean.
Do they have a graffiti coat thing on them, or just?
Yes, but that doesn't help if someone uses ballpoint pen and makes a dent, makes an indent, and so you have to get a Mr. Clean Magic eraser and really get in there.
Those things were amazing.
They really are.
I mean, they are
They-
really.
They really are magic.
They really are. I've just been turned on to this in the last few months, so I'm new.
They're great. The generic ones work just as well. Just
Good to know.
Yeah.
Save that
Well,
money.
I mean, if they're AC, they're triple AC's, yeah, property, then hope y'all do cool stuff with them, but obviously if you're in dialogue with like Linda and her like activating alleys program, then that could be another option to look at.
Would you email me that info?
Yeah, well, Linda from the
Centennial?
ADA, yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, Linda's the one.
So like,
Gave me
the reason like Mural Alley was created is because they have like the activating alleyways, program. So they're just trying to be more like utilizing that sort of dead space to make it like.
So
Right.
I did that with her.
Mhm.
And the one building, that owner is not gonna allow us to put anything on his, and then the
There's other alleys downtown though, so I think it's part of a whole program, so. Just talk to Linda about it, 'cause, yeah.
Okay, anything else?
Can we just congratulate? Mom?
Yes. Congratulations.
Fully matriculated.
I love it.
That's cool, like, road, good, I feel like that's like the coolest. I know people from my grad school who are like, no, I'm not gonna go to graduation, I'm like, I don't know, that's where, like, it was really cool. It looks good, and like the
Yeah.
special color,
All that.
program.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Master's graduation.
You didn't go,
I'm not gonna get a PhD, I'm not, didn't get a PhD.
Yeah.
those are the ultimate fancy.
Oh,
ones.
yeah.
You take any time off before you start back?
Next spring,
You're gonna start.
yeah, so I'm gonna take summer and then one semester off.
And then how long will that take?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah.
What was your PhD
Yeah, I was
in?
gonna say at least 4, 5. I've got some of the work kind of going, but yeah, so, yeah, 4 or 5 more years.
Education, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Nice.
Vote to adjourn.
Thank you, Kimberly. Kimberly has moved to adjourn. Thank you.
Now that we're done, I'll say